He almost did not buy it. It was sitting on a shelf in the back of a pawn shop between a broken transistor radio and a box of tangled jewelry. An old 35mm film camera, scuffed at the edges, the leather worn smooth in the places where someone had held it for years. No brand visible, no serial number. A roll of film already loaded inside, partially used, 12 exposures already taken by whoever owned it before. The man behind the counter did not know where it came from. Estate clearance, he thought. Or maybe someone just needed cash. He had stopped asking questions about where things came from a long time ago. The photographer, his name was Daniel, he shot urban landscapes for local magazines, nothing extraordinary. Paid less than he would have spent on lunch and took it home. He finished the roll over the following week. Ordinary shots. A fire escape, a wet street at dawn, the view from his apartment window. Then he developed the film himself in his darkroom, the way he always did, the way he preferred to. Hands in the developer tray, watching the images rise slowly out of the white paper like something being remembered. He developed the 12 exposures he had not taken first, and that was when everything changed. The photographs showed places he recognized. His street, the coffee shop on the corner, the park 2 blocks from his apartment. But something was wrong with the light in all of them. The quality of it, the angle of the shadows, the way the sky looked in the backgrounds. He studied them for a long time before he understood what he was looking at. The shadows were wrong for the time of day he had been standing in those places. Not slightly wrong. Wrong by hours. Wrong in a way that meant the photographs had not been taken when he had been standing there with the camera in his hands. They had been taken later. 3 days later, to be precise. He realized it when he walked past the coffee shop on a Thursday morning and saw the chair arrangement in the window. The exact arrangement from the photograph. Which should have been impossible because the chairs had been different every other time he had passed. And the light was exactly as the photograph had shown it. And the sky was exactly as the photograph had shown it. The camera had not documented what was. It had documented what was coming. He told himself there was a rational explanation. Light anomalies in the development process. Coincidence. The way the brain finds patterns in noise and builds meaning out of nothing because that is what brains are designed to do. He kept shooting. He kept developing. He kept watching. The photographs kept arriving ahead of the world. At first, the things they showed were small. A newspaper headline visible on a stand in the background of a shot he had taken of an intersection. A headline about a local election result dated 4 days in the future. He waited. The result came in exactly as the headline showed. A shot of his hallway that included his front door slightly ajar, a specific umbrella visible in the stand, an umbrella he did not own yet, that he bought 3 days later without thinking about it, drawn to it in a shop window for reasons he could not articulate until he got home and saw it standing exactly where the photograph had placed it. The camera was not malfunctioning. It was showing him tomorrow with a patience and a precision that felt almost deliberate, almost personal, as if whatever was inside the mechanism understood exactly who was holding it and had decided, for reasons of its own, to show him what was coming. He should have stopped there. Every instinct he had was telling him to put the camera down, to expose the remaining film to light and destroy whatever was on it, to take it back to the pawn shop or throw it in the river and walk away from whatever it was showing him. He did not stop, because the photographs were useful, because knowing what was coming felt like power, because he told himself that the next roll might show him something important, something he could use, something he could change, something that would justify the cold feeling he got every time he walked into the darkroom now and reached into the developer tray. He was 3 rolls in when he developed the photograph that ended everything. It showed a church. He recognized it immediately. St. Michael's, 4 streets away. The one with the iron gates and the narrow gravel path leading to the entrance. He had walked past it hundreds of times. In the photograph, the gates were open and the path was lined with people in dark coats, standing in the particular configuration of people who have gathered not to celebrate, but to grieve. A hearse was visible at the edge of the frame. He looked closer, at the people, at their faces. He recognized his sister, his closest friend, his editor from the magazine, a woman he had worked with for 11 years. All of them looking at something the frame of the photograph could not quite show. Something at the center of the gathering that the angle of the shot kept just out of view. He printed the photograph larger. He adjusted the exposure. He pushed the contrast until every detail in the background sharpened into clarity. And in the reflection of one of the hearse's windows, he could see what they were all looking at. He put the photograph down. He stood in the red light of his dark room for a very long time. And then, he did something he had not done in months. He checked the date on the photograph, the newspaper visible in the background of the shot. The small details he had learned to read like coordinates. 17 days. He had 17 days. The question he could not answer, the one that kept him awake in the days that followed, that turned every mirror into something he could not look at directly, that made every photograph he took feel like a document of something already decided, was whether the camera was showing him the future because the future was fixed, because it was already written, already finished, already sitting in the developer tray waiting to rise to the surface regardless of what he did between now and then, or whether it was showing him because it wanted him to try to change it, whether the camera was a warning or a record. He never found out which, because on the morning of the 17th day, he went into his darkroom to develop one final roll. He wanted to see if there was anything after the church. Anything beyond the image in the hearse window. Anything at all on the other side of what the camera had shown him. The photographs came out completely black. Every single one. If this one, subscribe, because we go deep into the legends, the objects, and the darkness that finds the people who are not looking for it. Drop a comment and tell us which story you want us to cover next. Until then, be careful what you point a camera at. It might show you something you cannot unknow.